In the Grid 3 application, find the Service Environmental Control app. Open that app and select the Home icon. Next, select the Fan icon. Now we are on a pre-programmed grid page for a fan that uses a simple on-off command through a smart socket, but we're going to program a more complex fan. To do that, we're going to click on the 3-line menu icon, select Settings, then Environmental Control Settings. This software does not have a default device for a fan, so what I'm going to do is get a little creative here and explore the different device types to find one that has enough action types to program in the 7 functions that I want to use on my fan. The action labels are not going to match the action type for my fan, but mainly I just need enough actions. I look at the blinds, which has 8 actions, then I look at intercom, but that only has 5, so I'm going to go back to blinds. I want to go ahead and change the name to tower fan so there isn't any confusion moving forward, and then I'm going to start learning my buttons. Select the action you want to program, then click learn. You'll follow the prompts on the screen for each button, which will tell you when to press and release your remote and if there's any errors. It may take several tries to get the right distance and angle for it to pick up your remote signal, but once a successful series of signals is received, it will return back to the accessory action page and the button will turn green. Here is where I encourage you to click the Transmit Now button to send a test signal to your device to make sure the signal programmed successfully, because mine did not. What I discovered in this process is that because my remote has buttons that have different signal outputs each time you hit the same button, it was learning a command that was different than what I intended. It took a few attempts at trial and error to figure out which sequence to hit my buttons to get the command I wanted. In my case, if I wanted to program the power on command, I needed my fan on when I start learning so that the initial button turns it back off and the sequence of button hits following that picks up on the on command. It just takes patience, trial and error, and outsmarting the technology. But that's the nature of IR technology. So here I'm going to learn each button by repeating the process, keeping a mental note of which fan action is programmed to which blind action, although I highly recommend making a hand note. Click OK to get back to the grid. Select the menu and edit grid. Then you can start repositioning the default icons and add the additional icons you want to use for your new commands. And you can also change the label and the image for each icon. After that, you'll need to go in and select each icon, delete any default actions that are programmed, blinds, and then select the action in blinds for that icon. You can test each of the icons to make sure they work by using the Transmit Now button on the left side. When you're finished and all done, you can click Finish Editing, save your work, then test each of the buttons to make sure that they are all correctly set up. This is the fun part, because then you get to prove that all your hard work was worth it. Keep in mind, this was not the only way to program this type of fan into the device. This was just the way that I found worked for me. Thank you so much.